Welcome to the World Trade Webcast. I'm Greg Sandler, president of ThinkGlobal.com, the B2B marketplace for global trade leads. This week on the World Trade Webcast, we're talking with Stephen Koprince, author of The Small Business Guide to Government Contracts, How to Comply with the Key Rules and Regulations and Avoid Terminated Agreements, Fines, or Worse, published by the American Management Association. Steve's a partner in the law firm of Pete Fish, Immel, Heeb, and Herb, LLP, a small business and government contracts attorney. Steve, let's continue our discussion today by talking about some of the advantages based on current government policy of being classified as a quote-unquote small business for contracting purposes.
Right, and it's good to be back with you on the program, Greg. Small businesses have a number of advantages in government contracting. I think the most important advantage is the ability to bid on so-called set-aside contracts, and those contracts are precisely what the name implies. The government annually will set aside approximately 23% of its contracts exclusively for participation by small businesses or various socioeconomic subcategories of small businesses. If you're not small, you can't bid as a prime contractor on those contracts. So small status allows you to access a part of the government marketplace that you otherwise would not be able to. And so that's probably the biggest advantage of being small. Folks who have one of those various socioeconomic subcategories, such as 8A, hub zone, women-owned small business, or service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses, may be able to receive sole source contracts of up to a certain dollar value, sole source being receiving a contract without bidding at all. And there are some other advantages in terms of certain rules and regulations that large companies may have to follow, such as providing a subcontracting plan that a small business may be exempt from.
You just touched on an important point that there are certain companies that qualify as quote-unquote small. So if you would, talk a little bit more about how the book discusses the eligibility requirements and delineates, who is a small business and who's eligible for small business programs.
Yeah, and I think that many small business owners, they know they're small, they feel they're small, and that's the end of the story. As with many things the government does, it's not quite that simple. There are actually 3 chapters in the book that discuss size and how to determine whether you're a small business. At the baseline, there are really 2 fundamental factors. There's the company size as an independent entity, and that could be either based on its last 3 years of average annual receipts under its tax returns, or based on its employee count. And this depends on the type of work that the company does, whether it's construction, manufacturing, and so on. And the second piece of the size analysis is the company's relationship with other entities, which the SBA, which has the authority over size issues, calls affiliates. And if a company has an affiliate, that affiliate size is added to the company size in determining whether that company qualifies as a small business. And so it's often the affiliation piece that trips up companies that think they're small, but because of their relationship with other entities, actually in the SBA's eyes, they're not.
And then finally, there seems to be this acronym soup of small business programs, and I don't think we have time today to get into the specific definitions of each one, but does the book go into the details of, say, what the difference between hub zone and 8A is, and does it define what these various acronyms actually mean and help the small business owner sort of navigate so they can determine whether they may qualify for one of these programs?
Yes, it does, Greg. There is 1 chapter in the book for each of the 4 major socioeconomic preference programs. 1 chapter for 8A, 1 chapter for hub zone, 1 for service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses, and 1 for women-owned small businesses. And in each chapter on the appropriate program goes into detail about what the requirements are to be eligible. In some cases, you have to go to the government for a formal certification. In others, you're actually allowed to self-certify. And especially in the latter case, if you're going to self-certify, you ought to know what you're self-certifying to, and the book helps you do that.
Thanks, Steve. That's, I think, very helpful for our viewers to know. And that's all the time we have today. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back again tomorrow with Steve for the 3rd part of our interview discussing small business contracting. For the latest schedule of upcoming Think Global webcast episodes, subscribe to us with any of the links below and bookmark this page. All of our previous episodes can be found online at thinkglobal.com/webcast. And thanks for watching.